Race 5 on the card, it's race 8 in Singapore. On the Singapore card, it's the Amelia Park Handicap, scheduled for 250. It's over 2,000 metres, so we'll see some of the stays running. We're going to have a look at a video for Riv Gaucher.
Giving chase, raising Dubai to the outside. Reeve Glouche is clear inside the 300. Reeve Gouche, little Lucy Warwick goes for the lick of her life, and it got away from them. From Gladstone down the outside, then looking ahead and raising Dubai. She keeps it going, Reeve Gouche. Gladstone is closing in. Reeve Gouche in front, Gladstone cutting it down, but Reeve Gouche is going to do it all the way, and Reeve Gouche races home to...
A really interesting replay, this one, and probably gives the Singapore viewers a lot of help, because in that race, Gladstone looking ahead, Reeve Gouche, Black Magic Miss, Reprisal and Racing Dubai, who are all in this race, were in that replay there, so you can certainly get a lot of form line from that. The two that I really do want to focus on, though, are number 1 and number 3, and these two will be the number 1 and 2 in the betting markets, no doubt at all. Reeve Gouche, very impressive last start. We're alerted to before the race that they weren't going to use the whip, that Reeve Gouche didn't want it. They just like right hands and heels, and it certainly responded really well for Lucy Warwick. And we know that Justin Warwick's been training the stayers really well. We've seen Luciola, obviously Grimston Rocks has won a race too, and now Reeve Gouche too. So he's certainly training well over the distance. And then you've got Adam Durant, who of course is winning the leading premiership for the train era, and William Piker is the leading jockey, and they combine here with Gladstone. And I'm going to go for Gladstone just to turn it around here. Obviously it stepped up from 1600 to the 2100 last start and looked absolutely gone around the turn, but it just kept fighting away and running down the straight. And I listened to Adam Durant and William Pike after the race, and they were still quite happy with it, and they believe it was going to improve this time. So I'm going to go for Gladstone to turn the form around on Reeve Gouche. I expect Reeve Gouche to be favourite here, but numbers 1, 3, 2, 4 for me.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of pace in this race. With we saw Kirov Boy with Danny Miller, who rides again. 66 Danny Miller, that's remarkable, really. So you think Danny will go to the front, but there is a little pace elsewhere looking ahead, I think. And so a horse like Gladstone from Gate 4 will get a nice sit. Willie Pike's on board, so I think he can win. Race 6 on the card. It's race 10 from Singapore. Got another birthday handicap. This young fella's only 30. The Coria Mato 30th birthday handicap. It's at 325. It's for 3-year-olds and upwards, over 1,000 metre. Nice little sprint. This is a great race. And we're going to have a look at a video from Smoko from his last start second.
But Magnificio gets underneath it inside the 350. Modello's clear, leads bar length and a half. Smoko's still coming down the outside, coming through Peninsula at big odds. Peninsula's raced up to Modello. Smoko's in trouble. Magnificio, Celebrity Miss down the outside. Peninsula, a boil over is clear in the bowfine from Smoko. And then Magnificio recoded.
Ripping replay there, and Smoko, obviously that was its first loss from 6 starts. It was going into the race as hot favourite. I think it jumped at about $1.60, and look, it was still a really good effort there. You can see it hitting the line. It jumped from barrier 9, couldn't get across, was forced 3 wide through the early stage, and then forced even wider as Magnificio slipped up on the inside as they cornered. So it was about 4 wide as they cornered. Ran on really well, looked gone a few times again down the straight, but boxed on, hitting the line well, and only just going down to Peninsula at 1.5 lengths in the end. But Smoko, sorry, there was 1 length to Peninsula, but Smoko in this company, Chris Parnham on board, will only run with a 58.5. It's just too good for the company. I think it'll be one that maybe the Singapore punters do want it to jump in. It will be favoured. It'll be quite short, but I think it's a very reliable horse there from barrier 10. I've got number 3, Recode, the second pick here. Comes out of the same race. It was first up, and with Joseph as a party on board, it'll only run with a 55, and I just like the way it hits the line. And again in this race, we're going to see plenty of speed, and that's what Recode needs. Needs the ones out in front to be going quite quickly so it can storm home late. So I think we'll see a repeat of that. Number 7, Windswept, of course, come across from Randwick and Flemington, runs over there. Was third, only a half length behind Blacksmith first up. Has been weighted for this race now. I think with the 55 kilos, we'll see a good race from Windswept. And then just going to go one that might be a little bit rough here, but number 4, Park Lane. It'll only run with a 54.5 with Renee Forrest on board. It's a horse that just goes to the front, and that's all it knows how to do. It'll just keep sprinting and hopefully hang on over the final stage. You'll see the legs get quite heavy. From barrier 3, it was a good trial the other day, and I think maybe just with the speed out in front, it might hang on there. It might even get into places, but Smoko, clearly the best horse, 1-3-7-4 for me.
Smoko's only been beaten once, and you showed that video.
I know, a bit harsh, wasn't it?
Bit harsh. And explain Smoko to our Singapore listeners.
Explain it?
Yeah.
As in what?
Well, it's an Australianism. It means a little bit of McCann, having a little bit of a coffee.
It is. It's what the tradies like to go and have a bit of a smoke, a bit of a quick breather or a bit of a rest, but this horse certainly doesn't do that, does it? It goes all the way, as we saw in that replay, continue to battle on. And
I think it'll win. It's just got the class, and it's going to be one of the exciting horses over the Summer Carnival.
Definitely.
Race 7 on the card is race 12 on what's a very big day in Singapore from Australian racing. It's the HG Bolton Sprint. It's the listed race. It's the feature of the day. It's for 2-year 2-year-olds and upwards, $100,000 in prize money. It's over 1,200 metres, minimum 54 kilograms. We're going to have a look at a last start winner who beat Smoko, and that's Peninsula.
Gets underneath it inside the 350. Modello's clear, leads bar length and a half. Smoko's still coming down the outside, coming through Peninsula at big odds. Peninsula's raced up to Modello. Smoko's in trouble. Magnificio, Celebrity Miss down the outside. Peninsula, a boil over is clear in the bowfine from Smoko, and then Magnificio recoders.
Great win there by Peninsula. Now won 2 of its last 3, and again to beat a horse like Smoko, you know that it's travelling well. Had the ideal run throughout, just sitting behind the speed, had the rails and then pulled out around the leaders down the straight and managed to pull away and hold off a fast finishing Smoko. I'm going to be pretty harsh, but I don't even have it in my 4 after that run, which is a bit of a drop when you defeat a horse like Smoko. But the big key for me as well is obviously Patrick Carberry jumping off board to jump on Settle Strata, both trained by David Harrison. But I think that says just a little bit of maybe where he rates Settle Strata compared to Peninsula as well. And I think it might be hard to back up. I'm going to put Celebrity Miss on top here. It comes from the Peninsula race as well. Runs with the same weight that it had in that race. Hit the line quite well there. Barrier 3, William Pike on board. Been quite impressed with the form of Celebrity Miss. I've got number 8, Hussey by Choice, rated second for the sole reason. First up 3 times, 3 wins. Just knows how to race fresh and always gets a job done well. Simon Miller just has it perfectly prepped every time, so I think you'd be pretty hard to ignore 3 from 3 first up. So got Hussey by Choice rated second. Settle Strata, as I said, with Patrick Carberry jumping on board. This was the form galloper at Belmont last season, and I think he's swapped for a reason. I can't ignore that swap at all, and got that rated third from number 7 Dewton, which also comes from the same race, but I think we'll just enjoy the extra 200 metres. So Peninsula unlucky when you defeat Smoko and not in the top 4, but numbers for me 4, 8, 2, 7.
Listening to the trainer last week, or last time that Peninsula won, David Harrison said it was more of a winter horse, so maybe not up to the class coming to the summer, but it was a terrific win. Now, jockeys aren't the cleverest blokes in the world. They often pull the wrong rein as far as, and Paddy did say that he had a bit of a soft spot for Settle Strata, so I'm not reading too much into that, and I think Peninsula will go very well for Glenn Smith. However, and unfortunately, I'm with you again, I'm on Celebrity Miss. I think it appreciates the 1,200 metres and William Pike, and it might be a bit of value in what looks like a really good race. And we're to the lucky last at Belmont. It's race 8 on the card. It's listed as race 14 in Singapore. It's at 4:40, and it's the Belmont Park midweek races to Singapore, which again, they're going very well.
Yeah, going really well. We're getting some great talk from Singapore, Twitter, emails, Facebook, everything. We can definitely see that everyone's enjoying the races to Singapore. So hopefully we can give them some more winners so they keep on punting.
I love the favourites. Turnover's been really good, so keep it going. We're going to have a look at a video. Big Jack from its last start when it came through.
Hers had a good run. Gets to the outside and tries to come home. Sulhom back in the centre. Foxalicious nearer the inside. Lenian struggling behind them. And down the outside, Big Jack and Kaliva. It's still Benito in front. The stablemate Just Envy Hers coming after Benito. Benito in front. Just Envy Her the outside. Benito's clinging on. Just Envy Her can't get there from Big Jack, and it's Benito. Benito all the way.
It's a really interesting race to finish us off here. And the replay of Big Jack, it was quite impressive. It obviously was 4th one off the rail through the early stages. Came 4 wide at the top of the straight. And I just like the way that it hit the line with the lightweight. That day it did have only 51.5, so we have to look at that as well. It will have the 56.5, but William Pike goes on board, which is always a good sign. The form lines there, obviously it beat Seika, which ran well the other weekend, and Benito, which has been in really good form as well. So I do like the form line. Big Jack, I think, just hitting its straps at the right time, but a very, very tough race. Lost Heritage is one that last start was really disappointing. The money came for it late. It ended up jumping a second favourite and loomed up, looked okay at the turn, and then just didn't offer anything down the straight. I would have this on top normally, but I need to see it improve from that first up run. It was quite disappointing. Then you've got Wombi's Legacy that's been running in this sort of company before last start. 3rd, 1st, 2nd, 2nd, and been quite consistent before its last start where it was 9th of 16. I think Wombi's Legacy is just an honest type that we know is going to be there and abouts in the race. And Cyclonic Halo, Jerry Noski goes on board. It'll only run with a 57.5. 1,200 metres, looks okay. It was only 2.3 lengths behind Celebrity Miss 2 starts ago, and we both like Celebrity Miss for the last race. So I think that form line's quite well there. Really tough race to finish the day. I'm going to go with 8, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I think Lost Heritage will be fitter for the first up run. I think it's been well placed by Brent Albuino here. I presume that brother or related to Ian?
I think so, yeah.
He used to be a champion jockey in Perth back in the 70s and 80s, I guess. Paddy Carberry's on board, and I think Paddy's going to have a really good day. So jockey to follow on Saturday is Patrick Carberry. So Lost Heritage for me and for Puntathon, as I mentioned. Follow at Puntathon from our Singapore point of view. perthracing.com.au belmont.com.au for all the weather updates and also your tips, Adam, and also the interviews, post-race interviews, which are terrific. At Perth Racing is their Twitter handle, and yours?
At Adam McGrath 89. So again, we'll be happy to take all the questions, and a few coming through as well now. So it's great to see everyone being involved, and as we said, we're always happy to help and try to find the winners outside of this show as well.
All right, enjoy the day, happy punting, and we'll see you next week.